Oh, I have a friend who went to graduate school in New York City, and she happened to live over the George Washington Bridge in Fort Lee in New Jersey. And every single evening after school, she would take the train to George Washington bus station. She would wait in the terminal, and then when she was lucky, she would get on a bus and head back to Jersey. So she told me this story one time that she had been at school super late, and when she got to the bus station, it looked like there were only a few more buses that were heading back into Jersey. And the bus that finally came that she got on was one without any AC. Well, it's awful, just awful. Oh, it also happened to be incredibly crowded. And as people pushed to get onto the bus, a small fight broke out among some of the passengers. The bus driver was like, hey, we're all trying to get to the same place. It's gonna be okay. Oh, people filed in, and then the next thing that my friend knew, she was stuck in traffic. The bridge was totally clogged. Oh, there's grumbling, and she could feel that the energy in that bus, the energy in the bus was very, very down. People were radiating anxiety and anger and sadness. As the bus crept up to the George Washington Bridge, all of a sudden the bus driver yelled back to all of her passengers. She said, hey, look, I can see that we're about to get onto the bridge, and I can see that the traffic is clearing up. And I can feel you all on my bus. I can feel all this anger and sadness. So I wanna ask everybody on my bus a favor. I'm gonna hold out my hand like this. Whoa, how about every single person on my bus, how about you pass up some negative memory that you had today? Why don't you pass up into my hand your sadness or your anger, that slight that a friend made, the person who bumped into you or took your seat that you really wanted? Why don't you pass up your fear? Why don't you pass up your worries? Because we're all about to go home. We're about to cross this bridge. Our day is over. Don't bring all of that weight. Don't bring all of those burdens back into your house. You're gonna pass them all up into my hand, and when we're on top of the George Washington Bridge, I'm gonna throw them out the window of my bus. My friend looked around at people at the bus, and people are rolling their eyes and being like, okay. But then there was this teenager that was sitting behind her, and she tapped her on the shoulder, and the kid pretended to drop a little thing into my friend's hand. Yeah, something that was weighing him down. Well, my friend did the same. She tapped the person in front of her and dropped those little negative memories that was just floating around and bothering her. Slowly, the people on the bus, they all start doing. The bus driver, she's sitting there, and she's like, come on, hurry up, we got it. And the bus is moving and moving. She yells back to her crew, and she's like, is that everybody? Do I have everybody's burdens right here in my hand? Everybody's like, yeah. So she says, I'm gonna open up this window. She's not actually opening up the window, it's a bus. She says, I'm opening up the window. And they're at the top of the George Washington Bridge, and she says, I'm throwing it out the window. Wow. It's this weird feeling, right? So all of a sudden, everyone was like, oh, okay. And all of a sudden, there was this feeling of uplift in the bus, just a little. Now, the real things within our lives, they're still with us. And it's a good story, right? But it's not actually so easy to throw away some of those memories. I know Rabbi Sorokin, you're touching on it just a little bit. Yeah, there are things in our life that we want to forget, that we want to toss out the window and watch sink off of the George Washington Bridge. But those very same memories, those very same mistakes that we made or mistakes other people made or the way that we were hurt 15 years ago by our best friend, those are like the things that keep you up at night. And when you are having like your life, the thing that floats to the top is the very thing that you have worked so hard to forget. In real life, it is basically impossible to force yourself to forget something, to just take that memory and toss it out. And we come to Rosh Hashanah and we say like, oh, it's a new start, it is a new year, it's happy birthday to the world. But you're still carrying that annoying thing at the top of your head. And so I can, and all the rabbis and cantors, we can like go hoarse up here and we can talk till we're blue in the face about how everything, we can leave it behind. But the reality is that some of my mistakes, I know that they are still trailing after me. I want to have us look at Rosh Hashanah in a slightly different way. I think that Rosh Hashanah, also Yom Kippur, I'll grab it in. I think that these two holidays, they're not totally about this perfectly fresh start. They're not totally about a clean beginning. And I think that the wisdom that we see in Rosh Hashanah, or at least part of it, is that the holiday is encouraging us to choose how to remember. When we look at the Zichronot section, when we look at the section of memories in the Musaf Amidah, and these are all like passages from the Torah, passages from the Bible, and they're talking about how great Bnei Yisrael is, how great our spiritual ancestors are, how much God cares about us, how good everything is. Chief Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, he looked at that section of Zichronot and he said, stroked his beard, he said, it's like very odd because this isn't the full picture of our people. When we like open up a Chumash, we open up a Bible, what does it say? It says that the Israelites are like stiff-necked and rebellious and kind of awful. But so then why is it that on Rosh Hashanah, when we talk about ourselves, we only talk about the positive? That's the wisdom of Rosh Hashanah. The wisdom of Rosh Hashanah is that we can't always forget the bad stuff. We can't always forget our mistakes, but we can try to actively remember how we are good, how our family is good, how our synagogue is good, how our world, maybe at its core, how our world is good. Because that's what the Machzor, that's what the prayer book for today tries to get us to do. One of my favorite rabbis, the Sfat Emet, he died like 100 years ago, so he was very recent, very close to our times in the grand scale of Jewish history. The Sfat Emet said that there's kind of like a secret code within the prayer book for Rosh Hashanah. He looked at the words Zochreinu Lechaim. Zochreinu Lechaim. We sung it as part of our Amidah, as part of our standing prayer. Those words mean remember for life, or remember us for life. The Sfat Emet said, there's this whole idea that there are like books open in front of God and that we are being recorded for life at this time. And the Sfat Emet said, no. Like, Zochreinu Lechaim, remember us for life. This isn't about our actual physical lives. It's not about whether I'm going to make it to another year, because that, like, all of us will die at some point. It might be this year. So it's not what it's about. What is Zochreinu Lechaim really about? What is remember us for life really about? It's that our memories, Zochreinu, what we remember, should be life-giving, should give us life. Zochreinu Lechaim, we should remember things that give us life. Why did he teach that? He taught that because psychologically, it's a lot easier for me to remember my mistakes than for me to remember the things that are life-giving. that's just the reality of it. But he also taught it because he had a mystical understanding of today, of Rosh Hashanah. Oh, he believed that on Rosh Hashanah, we have the ability to cast a marat tov, or an ayin tov, to cast a good eye, kind of like putting out positive energy for the entire year. Oh, he wrote, if we're not careful, if we start saying like a bunch of bad stuff on Rosh Hashanah, we might accidentally cast out an ayin ra. We might cast out a bad eye. So it's important, like spiritually, for us to say really good things on Rosh Hashanah. It's important for us to say really good things about ourselves and our community, about our relationship to Torah, about our relationship to God. Because on a mystical level, that paints our whole year. That our memories should bring us life and keep us on a path of life. So I want to ask everyone, and we're going to do it together. I'm not going to ask people to pass up our bad memories, but we're going to share our good. But this is often easier with your eyes closed, but if you're not an eyes closed person, keep them open. But we want to recall in our minds a memory from our last year, a memory maybe about ourselves, or maybe about the United States, or about our community or a synagogue, a memory that gave us hope. A memory that made us feel like we were good. Maybe we fixed our mistake, maybe we helped someone, maybe somebody helped us. We want to narrow our mental Rolodex, our mental Instagram onto that memory. We want to give it a lot of weight, and we want to give it a lot of focus, because it's something that brings us life. It is Zochreinu L'chaim, is remembering for life. We're going to have 30 seconds-ish of silence. And once you think you have that really good memory, the memory that brings you life, I want you to give me a thumbs up. Okay, so the Sfat Emet says that it's by speech that we make this actually happen. That when we talk about the good, when we remember the good and we bring about life, that's what brings this magical energy into the rest of the year. So I want to invite everybody, turn to the person next to you, turn to the person behind you. You can say hello. Hi, my name is Rabbi Zaslow. Hello, it's nice to sit next to you. And in 2 sentences, give the person next to you a little summary of what it is that you're remembering that brings you life. What are you remembering that brings you that positive energy? And if your neighbor hasn't shared, let them share. Okay. Any other conversations? It's hard. Sometimes in churches they say go talk with your neighbor and then come back. It's harder for us as a people. But come on back to me. Come on back to me. Shh. You can talk more after service, I promise you. Rosh Hashanah, it could be about forgetting the tough stuff. It could be about throwing it out, if you can. But if you find yourself with those mistakes and with that schmutz on your brain trailing after you, Rosh Hashanah is also about allowing yourself to recall the good, to recalling your soul to life. Oh, may we be blessed this year to live out these positive memories, and may we be blessed this year to bring about more life into this world. Shana Tova.